1962. In the small town of Derry, children begin to disappear under mysterious circumstances. While trying to unravel the mystery behind the disappearance of a mutual acquaintance, Maddie, a group of teenagers, encounters nightmarish visions that clearly suggest their lives are in mortal danger. At the same time, something strange is going on at the local military base, where the command is conducting classified research involving a clairvoyant named Dick Halloran. Although Stephen King himself never wrote a sequel to It, one of his most important and well-known novels, he left filmmakers a real gift by establishing in the lore that the killer clown Pennywise reaps a bloody harvest every 27 years and sleeps the rest of the time, and that the events of the book were far from his first awakening. When the feature film adaptation of It, split into two movies, became a major box office hit, the idea naturally arose to continue the story by returning to Derry's past, this time in the form of a TV series. Welcome to Derry has a truly gripping first episode whose ending is destined to go down in the history of television. It's clear that spoilers are hard to avoid these days, but the only way to truly appreciate how Andy Muschietti and his co-creators kick off the season is to start watching it completely unspoiled. It's a powerful opening that shoots expectations straight into the stratosphere. And while it's disappointing on one hand, it's also quite logical that the creators ultimately fail to live up to them. Watching Welcome to Derry is like riding in a manual transmission car with an inexperienced driver who hasn't quite figured out the clutch yet. The car lurches forward, then jerks and sputters, and sometimes stalls altogether. You can't say that nothing happens in episodes 2 through 6, but after the explosive premiere, the show turns into something entirely different. It has its moments, but for most of the runtime, the narrative unfolds slowly and, frankly, rather dull. As showrunner, Muschietti sets out to reflect on the nature of violence and fear that feed Pennywise, translating these ideas into themes of racism and toxic bullying of those deemed other. By the finale, he leads the viewer to the conclusion that humanity's greatest problem isn't some space-dwelling cannibal clown, but people themselves, generating so much hatred and malice toward others that Pennywise doesn't even need to hibernate to regain his strength. But spending a full 5 episodes laying the groundwork for this conclusion is overkill, especially when the characters can't match the vividness and depth of those in the feature films. And lectures and grand speeches are all well and good, but the ideas baked into the series gain any real persuasive power only in the final episodes, where Pennywise finally appears in all his glory and begins to back up the didactic theory with vividly brutal practice. For obvious reasons, the show's budget can't compete with that of a theatrical release, but every dollar spent on Welcome to Derry is visible on screen. The horror sequences are as graphic and visceral as possible. Still, the heart and driving force of the project aren't the special effects or the makeup, but Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, even more disturbing and terrifying than in the feature films. It's a shame you have to wait so long for his full-fledged return, but this is one of those cases where the wait is worth it. Thanks to him, the series delivers a genuine jump scare, clawing its way out of the swamp of mediocrity and ending the season on such a high note that it's genuinely astonishing. Just a couple of episodes earlier, you were checking the timer more often than the screen. Now you're already hunting for news about what awaits us in future seasons.